Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. We begin from the nation's capital, where President Bola Tinubu is set to grace the 8th edition of the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit as the special guest. The announcement was made during a press briefing in Abuja by the Chairman and Chief Executive of the Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, scheduled to take place from 11th to 13th November 2025 in Abuja. And now talking party politics, where with its National Elective Convention fast approaching, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says it is leaving nothing to chance in ensuring a smooth and colourful event. The party's Entertainment and Welfare Subcommittee met in Abuja to fine-tune plans to delegate welfare, logistics and entertainment ahead of the convention scheduled for November 14 and 15 in Oyo State. Global Television's political correspondent Ubong Usoro has details.
It's less than a month to the PDP's National Elective Convention, and preparations are in top gear. Members of the Entertainment and Welfare Subcommittee converged in Abuja to deliberate on key arrangements aimed at ensuring comfort, unity, and a memorable experience for party delegates. Discussions centered on logistics, including accommodation, transportation, welfare support, entertainment, programming, all of which are considered crucial to the success of the convention.
We expect a great deal from you because preparations are in full gear, and as members of the Entertainment and Welfare Committee, we are all saddled with the responsibility of thinking on how to entertain our members on that day.
Briefing journalists after the meeting, PDP National Publicity Secretary Debo Oloboduo assured all that the subcommittees are working in harmony to deliver what he described as a credible, peaceful, and unifying national convention.
Our trip, our movement has gathered momentum every day as we move towards Ibadan, and we're promising a very successful convention, which of course will strengthen our party in readiness for the 2027 election, which of course Nigerians are giving us the heads up that it will be won by the PDP.
Committee members also revealed that the convention will feature cultural displays, musical performance, interactive sessions designed to celebrate Nigeria's diversity and strengthen party's unity. The subcommittee is expected to present its final program and budget proposal to the main National Convention Organizing Committee within the week. As the PDP intensifies preparations for its convention in Ibadan, expectations are high that the event will not only shape the future of the party but also showcase its commitment to inclusion, culture, and national cohesion. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Let's move away from politics to environmental matters, where as climate change continues to threaten lives and livelihoods across Nigeria, experts and academics are calling for urgent action to strengthen environmental governance and promote sustainable development. This appeal was made at the 3rd Annual Hybrid International Conference of the Federal University Gusau, Zamfara State. Samuel Odi has details.
Declaring the conference open, the Vice-Chancellor of the Federal University Gusau, Professor Mauzu Abubakar, represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Academics, Dr. Aliyu Usman, says digitalization has become a global reality that cannot be ignored, especially with the growing influence of artificial intelligence.
Digitalization here is the integration of technology into our various operations.
The conference, organized by the Faculty of Management and Social Science, brought together academics, government officials, traditional rulers, and students to discuss the theme Digitalization, Environment, and Development Challenges in Nigeria. The chairman of the planning committee, Dr. Andowasi Abagba, said the event aims to generate research-driven solutions that balance national development and ecological prevention.
Comes in because environmental issues are some of the greatest challenges we are facing today. Being a climate change, being a flooding, which is in turn also linked to that, being a conflict, be it issues around mining and so on and so forth.
Delivering the lead paper, Professor Aminu Abdullahi of Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, highlighted poor environmental governance, low community involvement, and inadequate funding as key issues worsening Nigeria's environmental crisis.
We shall strengthen governance and accountability, promoting transparency in environmental governance, establishing framework for transparency and accountability in management of resources, combating corruption, implementing measures to reduce corruption in environmental management. And
the Emir of Kauda Namuda, Sanusi Ahmed Asha, stressed the need for effective policies and stronger community participation to mitigate the effectiveness of climate change and protect the environment for future generations.
Deforestation, the air pollution or pollution. Here in the our pollution is contaminated water because some are mixed with lead, and up to now we do not do anything about it.
Participants resolved to promote sustainable digital practice, enhance environmental research, and advocate for stronger policy framework to protect Nigerians' ecosystem. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
The National Youth Council of Nigeria, NYCN, has taken to the streets in protest against the withdrawal of its registration by the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC. The council's leadership described the move as unlawful, politically motivated, and a direct attack on Nigerian youth. Sadia Yakubu completes the story.
National Youth Council of Nigeria National President Sukubu Sarah Igbe Sukubu commended the action, stating that the withdrawal of the certificate of the NYCN came despite an existing court ruling delivered by Justice Okoro at the Federal High Court, a matter now under appeal in Abuja. Sukubu argued that the commission acted prematurely and unlawfully, interfering with a judicial process that has not yet been concluded. He accused the Registrar General Ishaq Magaji of orchestrating the move and described it as a clear abuse of office. According to Sukubu, Magaji's conduct demonstrates incompetence and a disregard for the rule of law.
By the provision of the law, and we will be able to bring it to their notice. And here the fact speaks by itself without even mixing words. And as we speak with you, the commission has appealed to us on the current issues that is happening for us to have peace and dialogue and the way forward. And which we have also assured the commission that ordinarily we are not supposed to live here. But there was a superior court that came, said all issues will be resolved. Based on that,
the NYCN president warned that actions of the Registrar General's office not only threatened the legal standing of the council, but also endangered national security by targeting a body that represents millions of Nigerian youth. The council therefore called on President Bola Tinubu to immediately remove Ishaq Magaji and urged the Senate President and National Security Advisors to step in and restore order.
Here is 1 month protest until the Registrar General is being sacked and removed. But the commission has appealed to us to cease fire. And
investigations carried out by CAC, and the trustees have been suspended for now. And there's an interim management in place. So that's the position right now. So the
protesters vowed to continue their demonstration at the CAC headquarters for the next 1 month or until their demands are met. As the standoff continues, all eyes are on the government and the Corporate Affairs Commission to resolve the crisis in a way that preserves the integrity of the nation youth movement. Sadia Yakubu reporting for Global Television News.
The Federal Ministry of Health says Nigeria is making steady progress in tackling mental health disorder despite global surge in cases affecting more than 1 billion people worldwide. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Development, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, stated this during a press briefing in Abuja to mark this year's World Mental Health Day. Zara Unasir has the details.
World Mental Health Day, commemorated every 10th of October, focuses on promoting global awareness, education, and advocacy against the stigma surrounding mental health challenges. Represented by the Director of Human Resources in the Ministry, Tashoma Defeta, The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Development emphasized that mental health is a fundamental human right. She urged healthcare professionals and civil society groups to continue raising awareness and offering social support to those affected.
Let us pledge to build a society where mental health is prioritized, stigma is eliminated, and care is accessible to all.
The National Coordinator for Mental Health in the Ministry, Dr. Ojo Tunde, said the government is intensifying awareness campaigns, especially among young people, to discourage substance abuse, one of the leading causes of mental health disorders.
But one of the biggest problems about mental health is stigma and discrimination that is attached to it.
The event brought about international partners, mental health advocates, and representatives of the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, all reaffirming their commitment to improving mental health services across Nigeria. Zarau Nasser, reporting for Global TV News.
Still talking health, the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has intensified efforts to combat child malnutrition in Nigeria in collaboration with the United Nations Children Education Fund and Evidence Action. The Director and Head of Nutrition Department, Ladidi Ayegbusi, explained that the ministry has commenced the first batch of national training for trainers on the small quantity lipid-based nutrition supplement SQLNS aimed at improving child nutrition and reducing mortality rates among children under 5. Details of this report will come to you in our subsequent bulletin. And now to legislative matters, where the House of Representatives has joined the global community to commemorate International Day of the Girl Child, reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to empowering girls as agents of change, marking the 2025 theme, The Girl I Am, The Change I Lead, Girls on the Front Lines of Crisis. Lawmakers urge the federal government to prioritize education and skills development for girls, particularly those affected by conflict and emergencies. Our correspondent from the National Assembly, Anita Patrick, reports.
Coming under a motion of urgent public importance by Kafila Togbara, APC Lagos State, lawmakers emphasized that empowering girls is not only vital to their own future, but the peace, progress, and sustainable development of the nation. The House therefore called on security agencies to strengthen protection mechanism against violence and exploitation, while mandating the Ministry of Women Affairs to create safe spaces and provide mental health support for girls. The Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development was directed to ensure compliance with these resolutions.
Call on the federal government to prioritize education and skills development for girls, especially in crisis-affected communities.
In another development, the House resolves to set up an ad hoc committee composed of members drawn from the committees on petroleum resources, upstream and downstream, public accounts, anti-corruption, finance, and legislative compliance to investigate funds appropriated and disbursed for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries between 2010 and 2024.
To investigate all funds appropriated and disbursed for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries between the year 2010 and 2024.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill for an act to alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended to provide for the creation of Ibadan State with Ibadan as the proposed capital city and for related matters, HB 2439. The motion was moved on the floor of the House by the member representing Ibadan Northeast, Ibadan Southeast Federal Constituency, Oyo State, Adigun Adekunle.
In Ibadan alone today, Mr. Speaker, we have about 6 million plus living in Ibadan. Most people live in Ibadan and work in Lagos every day. Ibadan deserve their own state.
The House, however, adjourned proceeding to Tuesday, 14th October after considering 4 bills for third reading. Anita Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
In the live broadcast of the Midday News. When the Midday News returns, Nigerian government bans Pengasyn from strike against Dangote refinery. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, this is the live broadcast of the Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital. I am Mukhtar Kasim. And now to business news, where Nigeria's total public debt stock has risen to 154.40 trillion naira as of June 30, 2025. These are according to figures released by the Debt Management Office. The figure represents a 3.01 trillion naira increase from 149.39 trillion recorded at the end of March 2025, marking a 2.01% rise within 3 months. In dollar terms, the debt profile grew from $97.24 billion to $99.69 billion, reflecting a 2.49% increase. The new data underscores the government's growing reliance on both domestic and external borrowing to plug financial deficit, even as revenue reforms and foreign exchange liberalization continue to reshape the macroeconomic landscape. A breakdown of the figures show that Nigeria's external debt climbed to $46.98 billion, which is equivalent to 71.85 trillion naira in June, up from the 45.98 billion, equivalent to 70.63 trillion in the month of March. Still talking business, Nigeria government, through the Nigeria Export Processing Zones, has banned the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSN, from industrial actions that contravene free trade zone regulations. Managing Director of the authority, Olufemi Ogunyemi, disclosed this in a statement in Abuja, stating that the Dangote refinery falls under the free trade zone. The federal government's agencies area prohibited from strikes and locked out within such zones for a period of 10 years from the commencement of operations. And now to news-making rounds on the foreign scene. The Pakistani Taliban has claimed responsibility for deadly attacks in several northwest districts that killed 20 security officials and 3 civilians. The attacks, which included a suicide bombing on a police training school, were carried out on Friday in several districts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa district that borders Afghanistan. Militancy has surged in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa since the withdrawal of United States-led troops from neighboring Afghanistan in 2021 and the return of Taliban government in Kabul. Now, 11 paramilitary troops were killed in the border district, while 7 policemen were killed after a suicide bomber rammed explosive-laden car into the gate of a police training school, which was followed by a gun attack. The United Nations says it is ready to launch a 60-day plan to help provide aid to the population in Gaza as soon as ceasefire between Israel and Hamas comes into effect. UN Under Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator Tom Fletcher said this during a press briefing in New York, that the organization has already pre-positioned 170,000 tons of humanitarian aid for the plan. Our international correspondent, Uyi Agbomofuigbe, gives us the details.
The United Nations Emergency Relief Coordinator said the ceasefire deal brokered by the United States President Donald Trump will be crucial in paving a path forward in the interest of the people in Gaza, urging that there must be no going back on the peace plan.
Plan, detailed and tested, is in place. Our supplies, 170,000 metric tons, food, medicine and other supplies, are in place. And our team, courageous and expert and determined, are in place.
Fletcher also stated that the United Nations will provide cash for 200,000 families to cover basic food needs, noting that the organization will restore Gaza's destroyed health system and deliver more medical supplies.
There must be no backsliding on the agreements that have been made. There will be some who will seek to prevent President Trump's plan from being implemented, and that must not be allowed to happen.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres had called on all sides to seize the opportunity to establish a credible political path towards ending the occupation, recognizing the right to self-determination of the Palestinian people and achieving a two-state solution. Uyi Agbomofuigbe reporting for Global TV News.
Now to the world of sport, where the countdown to the 27th edition of the Nigeria University Games Association (NUGA) has begun, with organizers expressing optimism that this year's games present an opportunity to discover talent across a wide range of sporting activities. Speaking exclusively to Global Television's breakfast program, Global Morning, Vice Chancellor of the institution hosting this year's game, the University of Jos, Professor Tanko Ishaya, stated that all is set to ensure a smooth 10-day event that will redefine universities' games across Nigeria. Again, Uyi Agbomofoigbe has details.
The Vice-Chancellor said the Games would not only attract people from the university community across the country, but will be a source of discovering talents and strengthening university sports in tertiary institutions for Nigeria and Africa's benefit.
We know we have the best talents in Nigeria, youths. And of course, one of the areas that we get those best talents is from universities. And we believe that NUGA, the Nigerian University Games Association, has been in Nigeria for a while. But not many people even know about NUGA, apart from the university communities themselves. But one of the things that we said we are going to do differently is to make sure that not only the university community, but Nigeria actually knows about NUGA and knows the essence of NUGA and what we want to achieve.
Professor Ishaya also alleged the fears of prospective participants and sponsors, as well as supporters, assuring that organizers have been working closely with security agencies to forestall any threat aimed at jeopardizing the success of the Games.
We have gotten assurances of the various security agencies, and I can tell you even yesterday we were with the Chief of Defense Staff.
Right, so that was on our news.
Yes, with the Chief of Defense Staff to demonstrate to you that we are actually going to whatever level to ensure that at least we have all that it takes in order to give people the assurance that when you come in, there are security mechanisms that we have put in place.
Uyi Agbomofoigbe reporting for Global TV News.
Certainly looking forward to the excitement that the games will bring. And that brings us to the end of the midday news. Here's a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim. Saying a very big thank you for watching. Good afternoon.